focus, by the way, is on end users and solving their needs. And you can also think of it as a business, in which case it's an advertising business.
All right. Since then, how many searches last year, 2008, do you know?
I don't know, but it's in the many, many billions.
Many billion dollars. And it's growing exponentially each year, or is it plateaued?
Well, search in terms of users is growing quite nicely, because the internet is growing. And one of the great stories, even as this bad economic situation that we have now, is that the internet continues to solve people's needs. People really do use it every day, no matter what their state. There was a survey recently that said that your broadband connection was the last thing you'd get rid of in all of your financial problems.
And today, Google does many things. I mean, searches is its primary thing, but you've created email, Google News.
We started off with search. And the early founding team, Larry and Sergey and the initial team, invented the advertising model, which has done so well for us. On April 1st of 2004, we introduced our first application, which was called Gmail. And at the time, people thought it was an April Fool's joke. And we sort of played with that, but it was part of our character. And today, we say our strategy is search, ads, and apps. And the application...
Search,
ads
and apps.
And applications that make your life better. And we have the ability now, because you have so many people using Google, to really change the way they use computers and the way this material. The term of art is now called cloud computing. And the idea is to let the computer take care of all the details. All you do is just use it. It's always there. Google or someone else keeps the information. We don't lose it. We don't break it. It doesn't get viruses, that sort of thing.
Applications. You have this thing at Google where you can take a day off of each week, or 20% of your time, say, out of 100%, 5 days, 1 day, and you can work on anything you want to. How much of that has led to interesting, productive, profitable applications?
We think the 20% time is really the only way we've been able to maintain our innovation as we've gotten larger. What normally happens with technology companies is the initial founding team gets older, you bring in traditional management, and although they becomes a better managed company, much of the creativity and the flair and the joie de vivre gets lost in the process. By establishing the principle that engineers could spend 20% of their time working on whatever they found interesting, we created a culture where there's this constant flow of innovation. Literally, every day there's another fun surprise. Now, before we get too excited about the 20% time, these are engineers. They don't vary that far from their area of interest. But it gives them an opportunity.
They're not finding a cure for cancer, they're looking at...
By the way, if they did, we'd be very excited about it. But what they're really doing is they're saying, in my space, I see all of these new technologies, and there's a new problem that I see that I want to apply this stuff to. And that's how the innovation works.
You also bought YouTube. You have Google News. We're at a time now, and we're going to talk a lot about the economy in this conversation because of some of the roles you have. Acquisitions come up. People are excited these days, the last several months, about Twitter. Does Google want to buy Twitter?
I shouldn't talk about specific acquisitions. We're unlikely to buy anything in the short term, partly because I think prices are still high. And it's unfortunate that I think we're in the middle of a cycle. Google is generating a lot of cash, and so we